Hey, what's up, guys? Listen, new information in the Shanquella Robinson case. I know y'all thought it was over, but her family is not through. They are talking about bringing up legal charges against the Cabo6. They said if the United States government won't do their job, then we will. What's more, Shanquella's lawyer, Bryn Crump, and Sue Ann Robinson are pushing hard for the Justice Department to stand up and reopen this investigation, saying at this point, it looks like the U.S. is the one that dropped the ball. And baby, they're planning on exhuming her body for a third autopsy. Y'all, let's get into this because thank goodness everybody stand up and support and lift the Robinson family up in prayer. This is the least that they deserve. Let's get into this. There's so much information. All right. They say the Shanquella Robinson's family is shocked. There are no charges in the Cabo death. And they're saying the lawsuit against the Cabo6 is not off the table. And you know what I say? Please sue them. Because the way Dejanay put her hands on Shanquella, on anybody's child, so cold-blooded. Shanquella had swelling in her brain. Swelling in her brain. Yeah, take away every penny Dejanay makes. And while we're at it, throw everybody else in there too. Malik, get up on there. What's a winner? Please. Alyssa, Ndidi. Nasir, I'm still on the fence about what's going on with Nasir, but y'all get the point. Anyway, they say U.S. law enforcement's decision to charge anyone, the U.S. law enforcement's decision not to charge anyone in the tragic passing of Shanquella Robinson has her family outraged. And guess what? They're not ruling out a lawsuit to seek justice in civil court. Now, as you know, what you need to convict is so much less in an American civil court of law. Okay? In criminal court, especially for deletion, it needs to be beyond a reasonable doubt. In civil court, it only needs to be preponderance. Now, here's the thing. Will a lawsuit in civil court ensure that Dejanay serves any type of time? Absolutely not. That's why it is civil. You can't make anybody go to jail over that. However, let the record reflect that civil can pretty much bankrupt her for the rest of her life. And at this point, I think the family just wants justice any way they can get it. And baby, I would too. And still keep pushing for the criminal charges. Okay, but there's more, okay? Let's get into this. Now, this is an exclusive through TMZ. They spoke to the late North Carolina mother and sister, Salamandra and Quella, respectively, who told us how they're feeling in the wake of last week's news that U.S. officials are closing the book on this case without holding anyone accountable. They said, as you can imagine, they're devastated, but more than anything, they're confused. I can imagine, because get this. The results of the different investigations, both here and in Mexico, are vastly different. Now, the initial one conducted by Mexican officials almost immediately after she was pronounced dead. And again, this will be the more accurate one. That's the thing that tripped me out. The way the U.S. government said, yeah, no, we don't see any issues. We don't understand what the point is. Now, I do want to say it was conducted in North Carolina. Alyssa Holt's family has a lot of connections in North Carolina, but more importantly, right, that's just my opinion, but more importantly, this is what needs to be said. It was so suspect that that doctor that did the autopsy literally saw that video, saw that girl, found swelling in the brain, then just said, well, no broken neck, but you know what? She died of something. Here's the thing. When you put in autopsy results, you don't just write down what you saw. There have to be pictures, documentations, lab samples. Because if not, somebody could do an autopsy and be like, yeah, we checked and you have like 18 out of 20 known illegal substances in your body. You have this, you have that. They could really say, yeah, we came in. We think they're alien born. He has 2 heads, 1 leg. You know, we'll work on that. I think he used to pop around like a pogo stick. You literally have to show the evidence of where you found everything. It is a very, very detailed report. What we see as the public on an autopsy is the summation. right? So imagine if somebody's writing a recipe. That's how autopsy is. Imagine somebody making a recipe for how to bake a cake, but all we see is that pineapple upside down cake sitting on the counter every Sunday afternoon. Yeah, but there's a lot that goes in it. If you actually ask someone, okay, like, prove you made this pineapple upside down cake, you got to go and here's the flour, here's the pineapple, here's the brown sugar, here's the butter. So when we read autopsy reports, when they're released to the public, they give a summary, but that summary is backed up. Like math, they need to show their work. The fact that they said we found no evidence, but the U.S. government in no way actually went to pick apart the Mexico autopsy, saying, how did you find this? Where is the photographic evidence? Clearly, Shanquella's parents and her lawyers are going with the autopsy that was released by Mexico. They think that is the most accurate one. Okay, but let's jump back into this really quick, because this reading it makes me so angry, but it also makes me so happy. Okay. So the initial one was conducted by Mexican officials almost immediately after she was pronounced dead. And reportedly, the cause of death was severe spinal cord injury and instability of her vertebrae, suggesting she suffered trauma. Now, considering there's that video that shows Shanquella being brutally assaulted by Desiree Jackson, it's assumed that's Desiree Jackson. Her family thinks it's common sense to connect the dots and assume that one thing that might have caused the other, namely the attack, might have played a part in their loved one's death. But get this, U.S. investigators were like, no, not really. They said the feds did their own autopsy once her body was embalmed and shipped. You know that once a body is embalmed and shipped, there's so many things that can happen to the body and so many things aren't there. And they conceded. They actually said, okay, there was swelling in her brain, but determined the official cause of death was inconclusive. How can you see swelling in someone's brain and look at that video and say inconclusive? At this point, I didn't want to get in conspiracy theories, but y'all know, right? But at this point, I'm beginning to think what actually is going on, because it's like, it's a case of don't believe your blind eyes for CHIRST sake. You can see what's going on. This isn't guesswork. She wasn't found like 20 miles away and nobody knew what happened. We have a video, and now they're swelling on the head. And for you guys that don't doubt it, the purpose of the autopsy is to find the cause of death. That's the purpose. That's your only job. That's what we're paying the big bucks for. What do you mean? Yeah, it's inconclusive. Anywho, what you mean? There is a body in the ground, and you're like, anywho, best of prayers. It's just ridiculous. They said the fact that the feds seem to be relying on their autopsy, which are undoubtedly less accurate than the more likely Mexican one, the more timely, it's a discrepancy that is yet to be properly explained, according to the family's attorney, Sue Ann Robinson. Again, y'all know I was one of the main people being like, what's Mexico doing? Bring it to the U.S. And they brought it to the U.S. and they promptly dropped that ball. Y'all, this is disgraceful. It's sad, but it's also really, really scary that you can look at a video. You have concierge saying, yeah, they were laughing and kikiing. They thought it was a joke. You see all this stuff. And then the government's like, who knows? Could have been anything. Anyway, have a good one. God bless America. Now, the lawyer, Sue Ann Robinson, tells us justice isn't done because she believes U.S. prosecutors punted it, meaning that they didn't want to deal with it. They didn't put in the right thing, and they were just like, yeah, whatever. She also says the family isn't giving up and will continue to seek ways to pursue criminal charges. They're going to keep pressuring Joe Biden. If you guys don't know, I think there's going to be a march May 19th. They're going to keep pressuring elected officials, including Joe Biden, to do the right thing and force the U.S. Attorney's Office hand to take action, as that appears to be the only thing they can do to reopen her case, at least criminally. Criminally means that if you are convicted, there's a chance you might do jail time. They're also saying that the family was offered the option to exhume Shanquella's body for a third opinion. And that's still an option. Y'all, Did the family put up a GoFundMe? If they don't snatch her out the ground and make sure justice gets done? Now, there's a possibility also of the civil legal action, something the family says that they're absolutely considering. The fact is they personally know the people who vacation with Shanquella, and they believe some of them know more than they're revealed. Listen, in other words, TMZ is saying the Cabo6 is not out of the woods yet. Yeah, you thought you got away with murder, but we'll keep calling you back. You guys, what do you think about this? Is this giving you hope? It's giving me hope. Like, at the end of the day, justice must be done. We cannot let this slide. It's impossible. The souls can't rest. And honestly, I want to know now who was in charge with the investigation and who literally made the decision to say, yeah, we know the video, the lies, the concierge, the interview, the doctors. We know. We also know that she has intense swelling in her head. But anyway, didn't say anything. Good luck. Literally, who was responsible for this investigation? We need to actually really start looking at this whole thing, because the math ain't mathing and something is just not making sense. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.